In 1944, American troops were out to sea, heading for this beach. Many of them would die, out at sea or on the beach itself. But this is not Normandy. This isn't even France. This is Slapton Sands, in Devon, on the south coast of the United Kingdom. And this is the story of Exercise Tiger and the Battle of Lyme Bay. Exercise Tiger was the code name for one in a series of large-scale rehearsals for the invasion of Normandy, which took place on Slapton Sands in Devon. The British government had set up a training ground at Slapton Sands in 1943 in order that U-Force, the force that was tasked with taking Utah Beach and Normandy, could practice. Slapton Sands was selected for its similarity to Utah Beach, a gravel beach followed by a strip of land and then a lake. It necessitated the evacuation of 3,000 or so local residents in order for live fire exercises to take place. Exercise Tiger was one of the larger exercises that took place in April and May 1944 and was to last 8 days. The first actual practice assault took place on the 27th of April and was to be a live fire exercise. The bombardment was due to end 30 minutes before the assault began. However, several landing craft were delayed, leading to the entire landing to be delayed by 1 hour. American shore batteries and the Royal Navy ships that were to provide the live fire received that order to open fire at the new timetable, but several of the landing ships did not. This meant that several craft landed their troops directly into the live fire, causing at least 300 casualties. The second wave of troops, however, suffered even worse. In the early hours of the 28th of April, 9 German S-boats spotted 8 landing ships in Lyme Bay that were to be part of the second wave. They were sailing in line and therefore made for an inviting target. The German Kriegsmarine had kept a number of S-boats active in the channel to raid shipping. These S-boats had been spotted by Royal Navy corvette HMS Azalea, but the captain had assumed that the landing craft had also spotted them and did not directly inform them of the presence of the S-boats. The boats attacked just after 1:30 in the morning, and thus began what became known as the Battle of Lyme Bay. Ships in the convoy were ordered not to return fire, as this would have given away their positions. Darkness offered the convoy some protection, as the logs of the S-boat later showed they were convinced that they had hit tankers. 3 landing ships were hit. LST-507 caught fire and was abandoned. LST-289 caught fire but made it to shore. LS-531 was hit and quickly sank. At 2:18 in the morning, the order was given for the convoy to break formation and for individual ships to make their way independently ahead. The attack lasted until about 4 o'clock. In the chaos that ensued, the 9 S-boats left Lyme Bay with no casualties, even though HMS Azalea had attacked them. The tragedy highlighted major issues that needed to be resolved before D-Day. British naval headquarters and the landing craft were operating on different radio frequencies, leading to large miscommunication issues. Incorrect use of life jackets killed many men who survived the attack. The soldiers, unused to being at sea, panicked and put their lifebelts on incorrectly. In some cases, that meant that when they jumped into the water, the weight of their packs flipped them onto their back and dragged their heads underwater, drowning them. The landing craft were meant to have the escort of 2 Royal Navy ships, but one had been returned to dock for repairs, and the Americans were unaware of this. More importantly, strategically, were that 10 missing officers involved in the exercise had Bigot-level D-Day clearance, meaning that they knew the invasion plans and could have compromised the invasion should they have been captured alive. As a result, the invasion of D-Day was nearly called off until the bodies of all 10 of those victims were found. Nothing of what happened at Slapton Sands was made public. Medical staff who treated the wounded were sworn to secrecy under pain of court-martial if they asked questions. It was briefly referred to in a July 1944 copy of Stars and Stripes magazine, but by this month the D-Day landings had already taken place. This had led many to believe that there was a cover-up of the disaster. However, a more plausible reason for the silence surrounding the incident was the need for absolute secrecy in the lead-up to D-Day. A book about the incident, The Forgotten Dead, was written by the late Ken Small, the same man who purchased and then organised the retrieval of an exercise Tiger Sherman tank from the seabed, 3/4 of a mile out to sea. This tank now stands as a memorial to the almost 1,000 American servicemen who died during Exercise Tiger.